Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of I, Tonya. So this was one of my most anticipated films of the winter movie season. It looked cool, it looked sleek, like a really unconventional biopic about one of the more divisive people within our sports history. And that's actually pretty much what we got. So why did I leave the film feeling kind of gross? Well, that's because I have kind of mixed feelings about the whole thing in general. So let's go ahead and just kind of talk about I, Tonya, and we will start more or less with the positives. And the big positives for me was the acting. Margot Robbie is really, really good. She creates a deep character here that has lots of flaws, but also a lot of redeeming qualities. She never felt like a caricature. She never felt like the tabloid Tonya Harding that we saw. It just seemed very real. And then we had Sebastian Stan, who I don't think is getting enough credit for the amazing work he put in this film as well. Another nuanced, fantastic, real, a little bit dark performance from Sebastian Stan that I thought was fantastic. And then, of course, we have Allison Janney, who is just as spectacular as the trailers lead you to believe. Not only is it the physical transformation, it is a full embodiment of this horrible woman who genuinely doesn't think she's horrible. And that was quite the feat to pull off for Allison Janney. Again, she added in extra layers beneath this just like disgusting exterior that brought this character to life. As for the script, I also think that is a major positive. A lot of this is lifted straight from actual interviews from a lot of those involved, but it is pieced together so well. The story structure is very unique. It's kind of all over the place. I love that we occasionally break the fourth wall, and with various characters throughout, signifying kinda, this is now my point of view. The editing was cool, it was sleek, the soundtrack and music put into the film worked fantastically well. So I have to say, from a pure filmmaking standpoint, I thought this was great. It's edgy, it's cool, it's a fresh take on the biopic. But all of that I just said is also kind of why I came out of this film just feeling a little bit gross. Margot Robbie does such a good job of bringing a well-rounded, complete, real character to the screen that I think she actually made Tonya Harding as a person and as a character too endearing. She made her too relatable, too endearing, and really made her a sympathetic character. I think it even went past like anti-hero type character into a straight up sympathetic character. I think that went too far. I think we stuck in Tonya's point of view through too much of the film. And if I'm being honest, I don't think the film and the filmmakers knew exactly what point of view they wanted to take here. They start the film off being very self-aware, talking about how inconsistent and pretty much ridiculous the interviews that all these different people gave after the fact and as they were discussing the case here. And in the film itself, there are winks and there are nods at just how ridiculous all of this situation is. But ultimately, it very much feels like the Tonya point of view of things. We stuck in her view for so long that her story was definitely the story told here. We didn't get enough winks and nods in there. The writing wasn't quite good enough to depict that, hey, again, don't forget, this is all coming from very unreliable sources. And couple that in with Margot Robbie's performance, and you have somebody who it was so easy to latch onto and sympathize and side with. Whereas if they had had Robbie play her a little bit less likable, then at least it would have been in that shade of gray, which ultimately the courts kind of decided that the case was, but public opinion did not take that side. And then you get nods of like Tonya's point of view of, well, look at Nancy Kerrigan with her silver medal and I'm the sore loser. And they actually show, like, they have Nancy Kerrigan standing up there, you know, with the sour face about getting that silver medal. But I thought that kind of stuff was what made it so problematic. Because yes, this was all supposed to be funny. The lines are funny. But then they play it as in, yeah, look at that. We kind of agree. She was a sore loser. It's like, oh, okay. She's a sore loser because her chance at the gold that she probably would have won was robbed of her. So really, at the base of it all, if this was the type of film we were going to tell, my big problem is its existence. I don't know that we needed this film. I don't really know why we decided to tell this story from this point of view. It ultimately just kind of feels icky. I would have preferred maybe a Nancy Kerrigan story. And what really is icky about it is that Tonya Harding could have and should have been this fantastic underdog inspiration. Somebody who did fight the system, who did come up through an elitist sport from nothing and became, you know, a champion. But unfortunately, that's not what it was, and that's really what this movie pushes. I'm all for giving villainous or bad people a backstory. I'm all for showing where they came from and maybe why they did some of the things they did. And especially in a case like this, where what happened was inexcusable and horrific. It wasn't actual murder or something to that degree that is completely unforgivable. This was an act that is still somewhat redeemable, in my opinion. So getting into that psychology and understanding their background is important, and I commend the film for doing that. But again, by the end, we're in such a place of this fallen hero that it didn't quite sit well with me. It ultimately didn't really sit well with me. I will say, if you are interested in this film, if the trailers have looked good and intriguing, this is worth the full price ticket. It is a very well executed, interesting, fun movie. And then from there, I guess I'm just kind of curious to know what everyone else thinks upon leaving the theater. Did you just appreciate it for the awesome filmmaking that it was? Or do you kind of come out feeling a little gross? Or are you of the belief that Tonya Harding legitimately did not know anything about what was going on? Let me know your opinions. I'm so curious. Either down in the comment section below, or of course you can hit me up on Twitter. So thank you for watching my review. I do hope you like it. If you did, make sure to click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on all our latest content. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!